Welcome back YouTube, KRoad17 here with a brand new F1 2019 career mode video. We are at the Russian Grand Prix today, and after the Singapore Grand Prix I felt quite decent. I know this track pretty well and I feel like this track has a lot of pace to it, but we're going to go right into qualifying.
Welcome back to Sochie. We're about to be joining the action down in the pit lane as the cars get ready to embark on their qualifying runs. Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
It's not so much about dealing with the pressure, it's more about how you approach the risk and just how much of it are you willing to take. You're constantly balancing the car on the edge of grip from braking, cornering and traction, and over the course of a lap, it's easy to get that balance wrong, and that's why achieving the perfect lap is almost impossible. As you say, I've been doing this 30 years now, and it never gets any easier.
So heading into qualifying, I felt pretty decent. I think the car wasn't really set up the way I wanted it to be, but I felt like I had a lot of pace, so I was going to push myself. But here we are with Q1 coming up to an end. We are, currently 20th. Like I said, I'd like to save up until the last lap, but we're gonna push through. I believe I, show you the entire lap of this, but 19 seconds left of the session. We do have one solid lap, but this long left-hander in this game, I just feel so good on this car. I don't know, maybe it might be the new handling aspect of it. Grab a little bit of the curb there, but nevertheless, we're gonna push forward, trying to set that time. In this game, though, or this track, I had a lot of problems with this next turn right here. I run wide a lot during the race. As you can see, I run wide there, but it doesn't cancel me out. It doesn't validate my lap, so I push on. And I'm going to try to set a good, decent lap to get us into a Q2 appearance. Grab a lot of that curve there. Probably not the best run, if we're going to be, honest, but never pushing the car, I guess, if you're not grabbing a lot of curves. But we're going to cross the last right-hander and into, let's see, we grabbed only 18th. So I have a lot of work left to do ahead of me. I'm not sure what happened there. I did actually bump the AI difficulty up because I felt like getting, podiums and top fives were not what this Alpha car was meant to do. But there you go. You see our teammate didn't make it out of Q1 as well.
Welcome one and all to the Russian Grand Prix. We're just a stone's throw from the Georgian border here at Sochi as we get ready to begin the race that served up an absolute cracker back in 2015. A last lap collision between Kimi Räikkönen and Valtteri Bottas sparked controversy in that race, so let's hope the racing is just as tight today. Situated just 3 miles from the Georgian border, the 3.6 miles Sochi Autodrome has two notable overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and then turn 13. 18 corners in total here, 12 to the right and 6 to the left, and it's an average lap speed of around 130 miles per hour. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about roads. They're starting towards the back of the field today in a car that is fast, so they'll be disappointed, won't they?
Yeah, it can be very disheartening when you have a bad qualifying session, and even more so when you get to the grid for the race and you can't even see the start line because of all the cars ahead of you. It's just as well that Lucas has a reputation for hard work and determination, as he's going to need both today.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Vettel, Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, and Hamilton, Verstappen, Grosjean, Perez, and Nico Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Sainz, Lando Norris, and Albon, Räikkönen, Weber, Rose, and Devon Butler. Stroll and George Russell ends our grid lineup, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
Right, so P18 actually got promoted to P17. This is the race waiting for the 5 red lights to go out. Away they go, and we're off. Our teammate right in front of us. We spin the wheels a little bit. Weber right there as well. Can we get a good look? I know I get squeezed very heavy. Oh, Weber almost runs into the side of Kimi. We're getting squeezed by, it looks like it's, I believe, Stroll. But Stroll is going to go inside. Butler with a big dive makes it stick, but I think he slows the field, so I get an amazing run on a lot of these guys and take the inside line. Get around Norris, and then there's Magnus and Butler getting argy-bargy. Can we get around here? We're going to throw the car into the inside. There on Butler, touch Albon's back rear a little bit, make him go a little loose out of that corner. So we're going to hold back and allow him to hold that position, as that was not, you know, the fairest move, if I'm going to be honest. But Albon goes really slow, so we're going to look.
Okay, that's a good start. Keep it up.
On the inside of Albon, we make it through, and we get past him for P12. Already P12 of this first opening lap. We have Sands ahead of us. I believe Perez is ahead of us. Actually, a whole train of cars are ahead of us. Hulkenberg is ahead of us. Can we get up to these guys? I know that my race pace seems to be a lot better than my qualifying pace. I really have to work on my qualifying pace because it's terrible at the moment. But, you know, that being said, let's get into the race more and try to push forward. Maybe we can bag some points today. We're in P12. We're looking kind of racy. Currently on the set of softs, as Russia is a very, very easy track to take care of your tires. It doesn't degrade your tires very much, which kind of plays into our favor. We're going to go maybe make a look for Sands there, but we back out. Valtteri, the quickest man on track. We have to brake really hard. Sands gives us a little bit of a cheeky brake check, but we're going to push on, and Perez is right there. Only lap 2 so far, so no DRS. Lap 3 is when DRS is inactivated, but Perez there. Sands blocks us for making a move, so we're going to have to wait, maybe make a move on this long left-hander. I felt this left-hander. The car just came alive. Sands really blocking us there, not giving us any room. So we're going to have to push for the outside. He starts to make it a little slower. Can we outbrake him? Very heavy on the brakes, locking the right front. And we actually got past where we did go really off track.
Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available.
So DRS is open, and we are right behind Perez. We get around Sands. Can we get around?
We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap.
Perez really shuts the door, and we almost run him right off the track into his gearbox, so we get a warning for a collision with Perez. I felt that was Perez's fault, but now he's going to really squeeze us. As you can see, wheel to wheel, I throw my hand up in frustration. Ricardo and Grosjean ahead. Getting around Perez is not the best, or not the best, what am I saying? Not the easiest thing, but we do make it stick. We have Ricardo, lap 3. We're going to have DRS. He goes really slow out of that section. Can we get around and get a run on him? Throw the car into overtake. DRS is open. We're in rich fuel max. Grosjean ahead. Gonna push forward. Looks like we get ahead of Ricardo. Now it's up to these two right ahead, the Haas and the Reliant. Can we get around these guys? Hulkenberg gets taken by Grosjean. We're gonna go for the inside of Grosjean. Grosjean really comes out and squeezes another hand in frustration. I have no idea why these guys tried to squeeze me so much in the inside, but it looks like we get around them. So now Verstappen, P6 is in our sights. Can we push forward and catch up to him? Currently setting green sectors, so we are getting quicker. The softs are lasting. Here we are jumping on board lap 8. Verstappen right there within our grasp. Can we get a tow on him? Maybe pull up to the back of him. I will give you guys a little spoiler. There is rain at the end of this race, so it's going to get very interesting battling for these top 5 guys, especially Verstappen being, you know, P6. We're going to try to capitalize on Verstappen and pull ourselves into P6. But first, we have to get around them, and then ultimately make our first and one only pit stop until the rain actually comes. Do we pit for a set of intermediates? You guys will have to stick around and find out. But here we are. DRS is open, and we're gonna try to pull up to Verstappen. Verstappen goes really slow. Has no match for the Alfa power in this car. We actually have the second best motor or engine in this field currently. I have upgraded that Alfa engine just a little bit, and it's already one of the best engines, so that's really helping us in those fast straights, especially with DRS being open, being in overtake, being in rich. But here we are, lap 11. I believe this is when I make my pit stop. Yeah, we're gonna come through and dive into the pits. On our way into the pits, I do like doing this little I guess you'd say like action shot of diving the pits. Not the hardest entry, but I actually, you know, mess it up again, and I go super slow into the pits. Looks like one of the only cars that pitted was a Ferrari, and I do believe that when we make our pit stop and we come out, we actually pitted early again. and we come out almost stone dead last. So we're gonna have a lot to work on and a lot to push for. Pit crew gets these mediums on quick, and we're on our way out. As you guys can see, a lot of the cars passing. We're gonna have our job cut out for us. The pit entrance, or the exit here, is actually quite amazing. It's this long right-hander, but you're surrounded by the two walls, so you have to get it right. But here we are. There goes the Toro. There goes Racing Point Williams. The other Williams not too far behind. Looks like we're gonna sandwich in between here. We do get out ahead. I believe it was Russell we got out ahead of. So working our way along this left-hander. You want to take it easy as the tires are cold, so you don't want to push the speed on that. I will be honest. We're gonna look for the inside look on the other Williams, and we get through. So now we have the Racing Point and the Toro ahead of us, as the two Williams guys are looking very racy behind us. But our focus is set on this Racing Point, who's looking to really make his car wide enough that we can't make a pass. But I think he knows that come the next DRS zone, it's going to happen. So I'm just going to stick to the back of him. I believe this might have been Ricardo or Stroll. Looks like it's Stroll, so we're going to look for the inside. DRS is going to be open. Now we have our sights set on the Toro. All the while, keeping an eye on that Racing Point. We don't want them to try to come down and make it like a little break. Have to really lock up there. Not lock up, but really have to be cautious on the brakes when we're following. Because I am now right behind on the gearbox of this Toro. Make a little look for that. Maybe a little too late of a look because I lock up and go wide on the next exit. But we're going to push on. And the Toro actually dives for the pit, so that is now that battle over with. We're going to start gaining a lot of positions because a lot of the guys that hadn't made the pit stop before are making their pit stop now.
Kimi is in for his stop.
As you guys can see on that mini-map at the bottom left, a lot of these guys, the front runners, are starting to pit. So we're going to take a lot of these positions away. We're going to jump a lot of them, and let's see where we end up. There is the Toro. Actually, the Red Bull. So we do get out ahead of Verstappen. Now we have Gasly, who is in the other Red Bull, which should be in the Toro. But at the time of making this, he was in the Red Bull. But we're going to push forward and see if we can catch up. He has started to catch, it looks like, position 4, 3, and 2 right up ahead of us. So we're going to see if we can maybe pull ourselves into that little train of, or the battle.
Car behind has boxed for the mediums. Car behind on the medium tire.
Nothing happening so far. We do actually finally catch up to Gasly in P5. So let's see if we can make an inside look. DRS is open. Guys, the clouds are getting kind of gray. It's gonna get interesting. I was starting to get a bit nervous as to when the rain was going to come. Maybe I could make these mediums last. But let's see what we can do with the remaining 7 laps of this Grand Prix. Gasly is being very cautious. I think he's maybe running a little bit less fuel as we're in standard. We're only in standard ERS2. Chirping the wheels a bit there. Can we get a run done on Gasly here? He does get a bit of a cleaner exit off that little right-hander, but looks like we get the better traction down as we're going to get the DRS. Go for the inside look. He's going to squeeze us a little bit, but he does back out. I thought we were going to go wheel-to-wheel again there. But we're going to make for this right-hander. And now, guys, the rain has hit.
Leclerc's in first place.
So the Ferrari's doing a really good job here, but like I said, the rain has hit. And this is after that infamous 105 patch, so these guys have been nerfed.
Gap to teammate behind is 33.9 seconds.
And these AI are extremely strong now in the rain, so it's very difficult to try to catch up to these guys. But here we have Vettel, who actually did make a little bit of a move on, or a little bit of a toe on, so now we're right behind them. Lap 26, 1 lap to go after this. We make for an inside look, fake him out a little bit to the right, juke to the left.
Brilliant, nice move.
And we're going to push through really easy on the brakes as these tires are starting to become very slick. This track is becoming very wet. It's almost becoming uncontrollable, I guess you would say. Very hard to drive, so I have to be very mindful through these corners.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Very low on fuel, so I had to start saving a little bit, which is not going to help us in the front stretch as we go really wide. As you guys can see, these tires are almost done. Vettel is looking for an inside move, so we cut him off. Make sure we block that move or that gap.
Final lap of the race.
Last lap of the Grand Prix. We're going to jump on board here at the very last bit of it. There was nothing really to watch, nothing too exciting. Get really loose out of there. Vettel's going to make another look. We see his nose point out, but he actually gets out of shape and slides into the side of our car. But last couple corners, guys, I wish I could explain how this felt. Being on worn mediums when the rain has hit.
DRS has been disabled by the stewards. DRS will be offline.
That just goes to show you how wet this track has become. But guys, Lewis Hamilton picks up the win. We're going to cross the line in a P4, a very good comeback race. Not too bad for Alfa Romeo.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
I have to give it to Rose. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
Let's move on to the Constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. It was also a strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend. Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
Driver of the day, we stay in fourth, so that is a good Grand Prix in my eyes. On to the race interview.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You must be feeling good about winning your battle with your old F2 rival, Devon.
It's been a great match against myself with such a talented, skilled opponent. I don't say he's very talented.
Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
I wouldn't say so. I believe the engine helped, but the car also got through the race like a ballet dancer.
We all underestimated you, didn't we?
You underestimated the team. When we're in sync, great things can happen.
How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today?
It was dangerous. It changed strategies, but all the top performers did their best.
Appreciate your time.
That has been the Russian Grand Prix. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe. We're going to put more up, but until then, I'm going to leave you off with the race highlights, and I'll see you guys all on the next video.